welcome back to my channel. And for those of you that are new here and just recently found my channel, I'm Gwen. I'm a 67-year-old woman of transgender experience, currently making all different kinds of content. And everyone here is welcome. So how is everyone? I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope your week is going well. I had a fantastic weekend, which I will talk about a bit later. First, for those of you that follow my channel regularly, you may remember last week I said that there was something that I didn't want to discuss at that time, and I talk about it this week. So I'm gonna dive into that first. There's nothing really bad, more kind of sad news. So a week ago yesterday, I actually have to back up farther than that. Back in mid-May, late May, our 6.5-year-old whippet Rocco started developing like a cough. My wife took him down to the vet, and the vet said he was starting, which is quite young, it was starting with congestive heart failure. So she suggested we take him to a very famous veterinary college in this area of the state. So she took him, and it was determined that he definitely had congestive heart failure. He was in early stages of dilated cardiomyopathy, where the heart starts to swell. And he also had, which I had never heard of before, it's called tricuspid valve regurgitation, which is the artery that comes over here, artery that comes out of the heart. There's a valve there to prevent blood from flowing back into the heart, and the valve wasn't sealing or wasn't leaking, whatever. So they put Rocco on some meds, and he was doing pretty good. One of the downsides of the meds was he didn't want to eat. So we did lots of different things to keep him fed. It actually got to the point where we were feeding him pureed food with a syringe. So things were going along, and he seemed to be okay. And then a week ago, this past Sunday, he just didn't seem himself. And then on Monday morning, he refused. He fought us as far as taking his food, his meds, and he stopped drinking water. So we kind of knew that the end was near. And my wife had called the vet to make arrangements to have him put down. So, and before I forget, I'm going to be showing some pictures of Rocco, so you know what he looks like. So anyways, we drove down to the vet's, and my wife is seated behind me in the car holding Rocco. And as we almost pulled into the vet's parking lot, there was a massive thunderstorm, and it was pouring rain. So we sat in the car for 5 minutes, and it was about 5 minutes before his appointment, and I said to my wife, I said, well, you want to make, the rain had let up a little bit, it was still raining, so I said, you want to make a dash for the door? And she's like, sure. So I open up my side of the car door, and she goes, oh my gosh, Rocco died. I'm like, what? She's like, yes, he just died. Well, she had been holding him the whole way, and he had a paw on her leg, and he just kind of got a little fidgety. He put his head on her shoulder and passed away. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I quick grabbed him, and it was actually it was less than 30 seconds, and it just dashed into the vet's office, and she was behind me, and the receptionist says, well, can I help you? And this wasn't, I gotta backtrack a little bit. It's not our normal vet's office. Our vet owns 3 different animal hospitals. She happened to be at this one, which we normally don't go to. We go to her main office. She happened to be at this one on this particular day. So the receptionist is like, can I help you? I'm like, yeah. Our dog, I think, just died. My wife's like, he did. He stopped breathing. And so the receptionist took us in one of the back rooms, and a tech came in and listened to his heart, and she's like, yeah, he's gone. So it was pretty traumatic for both of us, more so for my wife because he was her dog. So then on last Tuesday, we took him to one of the local pet crematoriums and had him cremated. We picked him up Thursday, and my wife got it's probably, oh golly, maybe about this tall, a really cute brass urn to put his ashes in, and she has a little glass vial, probably inch and a half, probably an inch and a half tall, about a half inch in diameter. And what they did is they put some of his fur in the glass vial and seal it. So she has that for remembrance. So that's pretty much the reason, of course we took him to the crematorium last Tuesday, and of course then I recorded my video last Tuesday. So that was kind of the reason why I didn't want to talk too much about it last week, because of the fact that we had just recently taken him to the crematorium, and the loss that we were suffering was still pretty fresh. So that's the whole reason why I didn't really want to talk about it, and I wanted to delay it to this week, because it's a week later, and the loss is there. Let's be realistic. But somebody put it to me: you learn to cope, and you learn to manage, and this is what we've done. So we haven't forgotten about Rocco, but it's just the hurt isn't as painful now than it was a week ago, because we've learned to cope and manage. We never thought he would be the first one out of our 3 to go. Our oldest one, Jenny, who's 15, my gosh, she's still a trooper. She's still going. She has a little bit of kidney disease, but overall she's pretty healthy. And then our other girl, who's Brindle, she's actually one of the pictures with Rocco. She's 13 and a half, and she does have some heart valve. Well, she has a murmur. She has heart murmur. But we got her on some holistic meds, and she's doing pretty good. So we always thought the girls would go first before Rocco. So this is why it was kind of quite a shock to us. So it was kind of sad. But we're doing better. Every day it's one step ahead, and like I said, we learn to cope and manage with our loss. So that's enough. It's pretty much all the bad news that I had. Now for my weekend. Oh my gosh. It was fantastic. So much fun. Uh, Last week I had mentioned that I was going down for my 6-month checkup with my surgeon, and our family friend Michael was going to go with us, go with myself. Um, I've known Michael for 40 years, and my wife has known him for 46. They're actually childhood friends. Um, so we left Saturday morning and drove down, and we got down there, and he kind of showed him around the bed and breakfast we were staying at. The caretaker wasn't there, but he gave me the passcode to get in. So it was Saturday. So then we went and walked around the town, and we were going to a play at the local playhouse. So we went and attached to the playhouse was an outside bar slash restaurant that overlooked the river that this town is sitting on, and we had this really nice dinner, and we had some drinks, and then we just literally, it was like a 20-foot walk, and we walked into the theater, and oh my gosh, the it was a musical, the Last of the Red Hot Mamas. Oh my gosh, it was so good. The actors were just phenomenal, singing, dancing, tap dancing, comedy. The whole thing was just fantastic. It was 2.5 hours with a 15-minute intermission. Oh, it was so wonderful. We did find out Sunday morning, the bed and breakfast caretaker was telling us that the local theater group, when they put on these plays, they get actors from Broadway, and mostly because New York City is a little more than an hour away from this area that we were in, so it was, it was relatively close, so it was easy to get actors and actresses from Broadway. So I mean, they were amazing, absolutely amazing. So we did that Saturday night, and then kind of went back to afterwards went back to the bed and breakfast. Mostly we were tired after traveling all day. Got up Sunday morning, had breakfast, and then we explored the town. We went into all kinds of shops. Michael loves to go shopping. Well, I do too. So, but I didn't buy anything. I'm trying to be good. So he bought a couple of things, and we had lunch. Oh, God, lunch was amazing. We went back. He bought some books. The local, it was like Friends of the Library group, nonprofit organization, had a whole bunch of books, buy one get one free, and he bought like 10 books. It cost him $15, and they're very big, thick hardcover books. So we took them back to the B&B, and it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He goes, well, time for wine. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So he had some fresh ripe peaches that he cut up, put in wine glasses for us, and then added the wine, and some of the leftover peaches he cut up, put those in the wine. Oh my gosh, it was great. So we had some wine back up Main Street, and he wanted to have steak for dinner. I could care less. I mean, I would have been happy with a salad with some kind of protein, chicken, beans, or fish. I'm not a big red meat eater. I've stopped eating red meat. Oh golly, probably 2.5 years ago. My cholesterol levels, which is fine, perfectly fine, very low cholesterol. My good cholesterol is really good, and my bad cholesterol levels are really good. They're nice and low. So overall, I have very low cholesterol. And for those of you that know what triglycerides are, I have very low triglycerides, which is good, you know. So I'm gonna be around for a while. So, anyways, we were walking around, and he's trying to find um, a restaurant that had a decent steak, strip steak, I think is what he was looking for. So we're walking down the sidewalk, and he looks across the street to this restaurant, but it had a second level outside bar, and there's some guy waving, and he goes, look, that guy's waving to us. And I'm like, where? And I look and I see the guy, and I wave. He goes, let's go. So we go across the street, and we go up into the second level, and he walks right over and starts talking to the guy. I'm like, okay, well, this guy, he's just being friendly, and he bought us a round of drinks, and so we were sitting at the end of the bar, and Michael's like, well, you know, we should reciprocate. So he bought him a drink, and he says, I think there was supposed to be an event at this restaurant that got canceled. And he says, and I think what they're doing is management is letting this guy, he was drinking beer, so letting him have a bottle of beer, you know, here and there. And then what he was doing is he would be waving to people and trying to attract them in so that they would come in and buy drinks or have food at the restaurant. So it gave the impression that to people walking by that the restaurant was very busy. So we had our drink and we left. We actually walked back across the street and found an open, it's so nice out, found an open air restaurant. And he's like, well, let's try here. And he still was thinking about his steak, and he happened to mention, oh, they have taco salads. That's one of my weaknesses. I love taco salads. And this one was really, really good. So I got a taco salad with broiled chicken on it. Oh my God, it was so good. And so he goes, you know what? Taco salad sounds good. So he gets a taco salad, but he gets his steak on it. So he winds up getting his steak anyways. So we had dinner, walked around a little bit more, went back to the B&B. I mean, it was only like a half a mile away. So we walked the whole time that we were there. And we went to our rooms, and the way the reservation was set up is our rooms were next to each other, but there was an adjoining door between the two rooms. So he opens up the door, turns on his TV, flops on the bed, and he goes, let's watch the Olympics. So I flop on my bed, turn to the same channel that he has, and when the Olympics are going on, and we're watching, I think that time of night it was highlights. It wasn't live broadcast, because we're 5 hours. Is that right? About 5 hours behind France. So we're seeing tape delay highlights in prime time, NBC prime time, which was funny. So we're having a good time just laying there on the beds, talking and watching the Olympics. So Sunday morning, I'm sorry, that was Sunday. Monday morning we get up. He's like, well, we were the only two in the B&B, which was amazing. So he's, let's give the innkeeper a rest so he doesn't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning and make us breakfast. So we had breakfast at 9 o'clock. And then the three of us were sitting there and talked for the next hour about everything. The innkeeper is a big bird enthusiast, so he was talking about all the different birds that come to the feeders he has in the windows. On weekends, on the weekends he works at a winery. He's the person that somebody comes in and says, "Would you I like a taste of this Merlot or whatever," and he's the one that serves up the little shot tasters to the customers that come in. So he started talking wine. I'm not a wine snob. I know very little about wines. I know red, I know whites, I know blushes, and a Chardonnay versus a white wine. I'm very limited on my wine knowledge. I just like to drink red wine. I mean, I don't care whether it's fruity or whether it's dry. I just like a glass of red wine now and then. So anyways, Michael and the innkeeper, they had quite the conversation talking about wine. So finally got to be about 10:30, and he's like, well, he goes, we can start packing the car to get ready to leave. So we got that done, and he says, well, I'm going to walk down the main street, and then across the river from the town we were in is another town. So he goes, I'm going to walk over there and check that place out. I had my follow-up with my surgeon. Sorry. That was at noon. So I got there about 5 minutes to 12. And overall, things went really well. I adore my surgeon. She's a wonderful woman. Sadly, she does not have time management skills. They took me into the exam room at 12:15. A nurse comes in at 1:15 and says, "Oh, you must have already had your vaginal exam." I'm like, "No." She's like, "Hasn't anybody come in to do your vaginal exam?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, one of the PAs, physician assistants, will be in." So she leaves. 15 minutes later, the physician assistant comes in, does the vaginal exam, and says, "Well, the doctor will be in a few minutes." Out the PA goes. Half an hour later, the surgeon comes walking in. I'm like, "What the heck?" So she did the exam, and I was also having another procedure done. It involves my face. I had a little filler added. So she's like, "Well, I'm going to get some numbing cream and I'll be right back." So she, out of the room, she's gone like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, comes back in. "We're out of the numbing cream." Oh my God. So she's like, "I ordered it from the pharmacy." The pharmacy is like 2 doors down from her office. And she goes, "It'll take a half an hour." Okay. She goes, "Or we can do it without the numbing cream." I says, "Well, how painful are the shots?" She goes, "You're going to want the numbing cream." Okay. So by this time, it's 2:15. So she finally gets the numbing cream. She comes in. It's 3:15. Or almost. She puts the numbing cream on, and she goes, "We'll give it 10 minutes, and I'll be back." 30 minutes later, she finally comes back. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." She does what she needed to do, added a little bit of filler, and I was all done. Then she's like, "Well, we want to put ice packs on you to prevent swelling." Okay, had to do that for 10 minutes. She's gone. And the nurse comes in. "How you doing?" I says, "I'm all done." Okay, fine. So they had after visit somewhere I had to wait for, and I was talking to some of the nurses I've gotten to know. I walked out of there, and it was 4:15 in the afternoon. So essentially, I was there for 4 hours, which, like I said, everything moved. It's just all the delays in between, and I think, like I said, I adore my surgeon. I think she just has time management issues. She doesn't know how to manage her time well. So, and then we had to drive back here, And then once we got back here, Michael had another hour drive back to the city, so it was quite late for him. So we got back here, and by the time I just quickly unpacked the car, said hi to the dogs, and took care of a few things, got ready for bed, and by that time it was after 10:30. So, which made for a short night. And I got up this morning. Besides work, I had to take care of some of the packing that I had left. And I kind of, I think I look halfway decent, but I feel I also threw myself together. I mean, I put my wig on. I just didn't want to fuss with my hair. I did minimal amount of makeup, so it's like I'm still recovering from the whole weekend trip. So, like I said, I would maybe fuss a little bit more in what I'm wearing, but it's nice enough. It's business casual, so I'm quite happy with it. I know I typically will try be a little bit more picky, let's say, on what I'm wearing when I video, but this is fine. So, but anyways, so that was my wonderful weekend. Not too much else really going on for me this week. Let's see. Thursday I have electrolysis. Sunday we're celebrating my stepmom's 80th birthday party, which is going to be great because I get to see the rest of my family, some of which I have not seen since last October. Life happens. Everybody gets busy. Next week there really isn't much going on before I do next week's video. But then after that, there's going to be the big thing, which will be a week from this coming Friday. Yes, it's 7, 9, 10 days away from surgery. I'm gonna have my girls. Kind of looking forward to that. Actually, Michael and I were talking about that yesterday. As a quick side note, I told him, I says, I'm ready. I'm tired of wearing breast forms. I just want to be done with it. I want my girls, and I'm, as much as cis women complain about it, I'm actually not upset about having to wear a bra. So, that's part of being a girl. So, but anyways, I could talk more about that next week, when it'll be only 3 or 4 days before surgery. So, I guess that's pretty much about it. I've kind of rambled on. I was hoping to film outside today, but we've been having off and on showers all day today, and it's actually getting dark again. So I think we're going to, any moment, we should be getting another storm. I wanted to try out my new cordless microphone that I got last week and see how good that works, but I wasn't able to because I'm not filming outside today. So maybe next week I will do that, and if it's nice enough, we can maybe all go out for a walk and when I record, and we'll try it from there. I think in the meantime, I'll do a little test recording with the new microphone on my phone to see how well the sound audio is. So hopefully, for those of you that have commented about the poor sound quality, which I'm aware of, hopefully this will be an answer to it. We'll have to see. So I guess that's it for today and this week. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, the rest of your week. As always, like, share, subscribe. And for those of you that are new here, if you have any comments, questions, suggestions of something or topics you'd like me to talk about, please, by all means, in the comment section below. Those of you that have been around here long enough know that I answer all comments, questions, and suggestions. And I actually use suggestions in upcoming videos. So keep them coming, folks. So with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful and fantastic weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, so that you can all be back here next week, because, well, without you guys, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be making I'd be here, but I wouldn't be making my videos. You know, you guys are the reason why I make my videos. I love you all, even though I probably met maybe 4 or 5 of over 400 subscribers that I've got, but that's okay. You know, you're all part of my big family. So, you know, and I love you all, and I appreciate every one of you taking the time to tune in and watch my videos. I mean, like I said, this is the reason why I do it. So, again, with that, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you all right here, or maybe outside, depending on what happens weather-wise. But anyways, I'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.